Welcome to my world.
So you know when you're doing a bit and then sometimes the bit goes a little bit too far and turns into reality? This is exactly how Mao ended up dating an extreme narcissist.
5'6".
He was 5'6", which is even more tragic.
Short, but big ego.
Okay, Mao, so please, this episode's your time to shine.
Yeah.
I'm going to do kind of like an interview style. So she has her notes prepared, and we're going to go through all the different qualities of what can help you identify that you're in an abusive relationship with a narcissistic man.
Yes.
And she will bring the receipts. She will bring the examples, and we will all be here for the tea of the occasion.
We'll have quotes ready and also
direct quotes. Direct quotations.
This is funny to an extent, which helps me lighten the situation. But if you are in an abusive relationship or is in a relationship with a narcissist, it's pretty serious. We're going to link a helpline below. So please call if you are in actual need of help, because we're not here to make a joke of a situation. I think I got lucky in having a good community outside of the relationship, and I also was in it for the bit a little bit.
It didn't get physical at any point, but I honestly want to say sometimes emotional damage can even be worse than physical.
Yeah, it
Sometimes.
Really destroys your self-esteem. If they are amazing gaslighters, you do feel like you are the person to blame.
The crazy one.
Yeah.
And the crazy one, which is insane. So, Mel, I'll let you go ahead and take it away with some of the, I guess, key categories that we're going to lump it in, because there's just so many events that happened, so many details that we can get into, but we're going to kind of sum it up into a few. First.
I think we'll start with the sweet before we get all into the sinister, because the sweet was the beginning of the relationship, right? So in an abusive relationship, there's cycles, and the beginning usually is about love bombing and how much they show appreciation for you. So that was exactly what was happening. Everything moved really quickly. So in the beginning, he would cook me breakfast in bed. He would buy me all these luxurious things. So we would go to Aritzia. He got me everything I wanted, like $1,000. He would be like, oh, easy. He would get me sunglasses. He'll fly me out to Vegas. It was crazy. And I was eating that up.
Like, she was doing it a little bit for like the bit, like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of pros here. Like, it was super fun and adventurous. There wasn't really anything wrong with it. I do want to know, I also went to Europe during this time. So I was gone for a good piece of the beginning part. And by the time that I came back, everything had moved so quickly. It was like insane. From the moment that we first met him to where you were at, even like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah, it was in a span of 1 month that we were already traveling together to Vegas and being in the same hotel room and everything. And that's where he asked me out.
Asked you officially to be his girlfriend. Yeah.
So I think all of that kind of added in terms of, hey, I did all of this for you. What you should be giving me is the relationship factor, right? The commitment. So yeah, I felt a little bit trapped getting asked that in Vegas.
You even were trying to slow down the pace at multiple times, and he kind of like cornered you into that relationship. But I'll let you get back to your like love bombing, because I think that's good context for the relationship.
I mean, there's not really much other than monetary stuff that he did. Everything like from dinners to getting my nails done to calling all my Ubers. Like for dates, he would plan out everything. He'll tell me what to wear. If I didn't have a dress, he'll get me the dress. One of his biggest assets were that he was a fitness person. So I got free fitness training. There was a lot of generosity in the beginning. I've never had this relationship ever. In terms of like someone giving me so much and getting taken care of, I felt like, wow, this is the zaddy life.
Until
dun
dun dun, the red flags kept blaring. So we went through 1 is love bombing. 2, now you want to talk about the lack of privacy, because he was such an insecure man. There was such insane things that he did to you that I can't even believe that you went through that and like still went along like flutter your little eyelashes, and you would come home and tell us this, and we were like, Mao, this is literally insane. Literally insane. Wouldn't even tell us the full story sometimes, or it would be like a few days would pass and then you would tell us, and I'm like, why are you just saying this now? This is literally insane. So I think you knew deep down that it was not right.
Exactly. So if you as a viewer are feeling like you need to hide something from your friends, there's already something wrong with that. You should trust your friends.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we care for you and we're there for you, but take what everyone says with a grain of salt. Like, we don't see the day to day and we don't see the good sides of it. And I'm sure there's positive things too. We just want the best for you. So, obviously, we're going to be like, oh, these things, XYZ negative things are horrible. And we'll say that. At the end of the day, you need to understand that too. Like, when you're in that relationship, like, you need to recognize that the negative things are potentially so much worse than the positives.
So the one thing that I was hiding was that one day he took my phone, and he always kind of takes my phone to map out places or Google something.
He also didn't want you on your phone that much.
In the beginning, he would be like, oh, like, can we put our phones down and really talk? I totally get it in this digital age. Like, we don't want to be always on our screens when we're like trying to, I don't know, develop a relationship with someone. So I totally got that. But with that, he also would take my phone. So he didn't want me to carry my own phone because it would like occupy my hands or it might distract me from our conversation. So he'd be like, oh, I'll hold your phone. I didn't think much of it. But then one day he took my phone like usual and he went to the bathroom. He took
You didn't realize that he took your phone though, right?
I think I forgot that he took my phone because it's like a usual.
Oh, from earlier.
Yeah, he would be like, oh, I'll carry your phone because he always had this like pouch with him. So he goes into the bathroom and I'm like, oh shoot, like I don't have anything to fidget around with. So I'm like, oh yeah, he has my phone. Forgot. It takes forever for him to finish the bathroom. I'm like, dude, what is going on? He comes out. I'm like, oh, can I have my phone? And he's like, yeah. So he gives me my phone. And then he's like walking. He's like, I gotta tell you something. He looks very guilty. And I'm like, what's up? Because I want to be very casual, right? Melody taught me a good technique too in a relationship that you don't want to freak out to scare your partner from saying the truth. So you want to play it cool, be the cool girl, try and draw it out.
It's kind of like parenting, right? Like if you say something to your parent and then they start freaking out or getting mad, or you're never going to want to say anything to your parent ever again. And it's the same thing when you're in a relationship. Like if someone says something to you and you react negatively or like make a big deal out of it, then they're never going to want to share. Or they're going to feel hesitant to share. So you have to make sure you kind of hold your feelings and make them feel comfortable so they will continue to share, which maybe is a little bit manipulative.
No, I think it's a great technique and that's exactly what I did. And then he says, I blocked someone.
Wait, no. You need to give more context than that. You need to give the backstory.
Wait, what's the backstory?
In the bathroom, he was going through your phone.
Yes.
On your phone, he went to literally every single thing, including your Instagram DMs. In your Instagram DMs, there was this guy whose name started with the C.
And if you're watching this, I doubt you are. I miss you. Not one of the C's, but the other C. You know the one?
I know the one. He like had DM'd, responded to her story, like super casual, whatever. His name was the same name as this other guy that we know, who we're like purely friends with.
Yeah.
He had texted her some plans or something like that a while ago. But after he saw that this person had DM'd her on Instagram, he blocked that person on Instagram and then went and searched his name up on your contacts list, blocked that person on the text because he thought that those two people were the same.
The big wrong that he did was go through my texts, took an action too, in addition to that, to affect my relationships I'm having. I wasn't doing anything, honestly.
Also, this was from so long ago. I don't think it was even when you guys were talking.
It was so long ago, and we're not even like in a committed relationship back then. Yeah. We weren't exclusive, so that was really weird. But he said sorry, like that will never happen again. How do you feel right now? And I'm like, I feel a little shocked. Like I try to play it off, and then he goes like, "Don't tell my friends," and I'm like, okay, I won't tell them.
The fact that he literally says, don't tell your friends.
I know.
Also, I think that he literally, at this point, he like really hated me for multiple reasons. And I think he just knew that I would be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, he knew of Melody from the start. And he knew that Melody and him don't bond because she's very extroverted. She talks to a lot of different people. She has a very different relationship style than maybe he has ever experienced. I think he was just so insecure that I was friends with you.
The relationship style that he has, obviously, being a narcissistic and insecure person, is like he wants to have full control over his partner. My partner, on the other hand, is super chill. Like, doesn't care if I'm like going out and like talking to people, and he knows that, like, oh, I love doing that. I can go hang out with my girlfriends. And he's not, like, insecure about that or, like, worried about anything happening to our relationship, even if I'm, like, out and, like, socializing. So the fact that your guy saw me having that behavior, I think he didn't like that influence on you, because then you would think that behavior is like okay, and he's like, that is not okay behavior. Like he didn't like my influence.
Exactly. And another story time is that when I went on a girls' trip, literally 1.5 days out to LA to meet my friends who were in the sorority back when I was in college, he didn't agree to let me go, apparently, quote unquote. But because it was planned before I got exclusive with him, like I was allowed to go. But then when I came back, he was saying, oh, I was going to break up with you. Like I was going to break up with you because you didn't text me for 1.5 days. So that was crazy. Consistently, he would go through my phone. I would have to delete texts, create my own text without his name being involved, because he would search up his name.
Like it would be so paranoia of us even texting about him, because Mal was like, if he looks at my phone, like he's gonna see these texts.
I would need to call. So I would tell them like, call me. When he goes through my deleted texts.
I didn't even know that you could see that until he literally was like, he went through them.
He literally opened my phone, went to my deleted immediately. One day. That was when the line was drawn.
Okay, that's not even the worst line, going through your deleted text. The worst line was the YouTube.
So he went through my YouTube history.
Like, to me, that's so private. Like, why are you... If you're an insecure person, whatever, you go through someone's text, I get that. Like, people are insecure about, like, you know, getting cheated on, whatever. Not that it's okay, but I'm like, okay, it's more common. YouTube history? Why? That's such an invasion of privacy.
Yes. And I love watching mukbangs, and I like heavier people eating, like... Literally, I'm like, what?
It's just like, it just feels very personal, because it's like, oh, in your free time you're watching, personal growth stuff, like meditation, or like mukbangs, or shopping hauls. Like, you don't want people to see your YouTube history. I don't know. It just is like very intimate to me.
It's intimate. It's none of your freaking business.
And like, who thinks of that? Like, what are you gaining from that?
You are extremely insecure.
And what he said, he literally was like, I just want to get to know you better or something.
Yeah, I just want to know what you're thinking, like what you're interested in. That's bull. I think he's just clock any way I'm looking at other guys.
I literally don't even know what he was trying to achieve.
I think he's going to make himself victim in any relationship, no matter what, and try to dig out this evilness in the other partner. So we have a lot of quotes that he said, which was crazy. He would say, all girls have wandering eyes. He called Melody a Chad's girl.
Because I was being extremely social during an event, and he called me a Chad's girl, which is essentially another word for like
prostitute. He called Melody's boyfriend a beta cuck.
A beta cuck.
A beta cuck. And we make fun of that all the time now.
He's like, oh, he's a beta cuck because he lets other people talk to his girlfriend. And I'm like, can you not have a conversation with humans? You Mr. Alien Man?
Those were horrible, but one day he was saying, like, I know your cycle. Don't say that you're on this. I know your cycle. I keep track. For what?
Dude, that was so weird. That's, like, so weird. He knows to, like, when to manipulate you, like, when you're at your vulnerable state.
Next one, Superiority Complex. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. He said some crazy things. He works in the health and fitness realm. He has a lot of different clients. He would call them narwhals. He would call them pigs. I mean, if my trainer was saying that behind my back, I would die.
Literally, I would die.
And he would call people fat.
And I'm like, you're literally a health and fitness person. You should be wanting to encourage people to like do better and like be super supportive. He was so insanely negative and rude, and like always thought he was like the head person.
Head person physically. He would also call people poor, or like this is poor people behavior.
They always said poor people behavior. What even is that, bro? What?
Yeah. Literally,
so weird.
Know. And then he said, I'm the best out there.
Constantly.
And then another time he said, welcome to my world, to my friends, which now thinking about it, it's so freaking embarrassing. He said that at a club.
This is an interesting story. So this was the first and only time that me and my boyfriend went out with Mao and that guy. They really wanted to go to this club in San Francisco. So we're like, okay, like, I guess we'll tag along. Like, we're going to be team players and like hang out with you guys. So we go there and they're making a big fuss. Like, we need to be in the VIP. We need to be in the VIP. And we're literally like, dude, like, we're probably going to come in here for like 10 minutes and leave. Like, it really doesn't matter. it was becoming a situation because they could only let a certain amount of people go in for like this specific table. And literally no one was in the line. And we're like, dude, can we just go in? Like, it doesn't matter. And he's like, no, absolutely not. And then so he started talking to this bouncer and he's like, does this guy not think I can get a table? Like, oh my God. He like literally said that, like was being crazy. The people in the front were just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like insane. And all this trouble happens, whatever. Finally we get in. We're in the back by the tables. Let me know why there was one little velvet rope separating the table from the public area. And we wanted to be in the public area anyway because everyone was like dancing and it was fun there. So I'm like, and I wasn't drinking. Like I don't really drink that much. And he brought us a menu and he goes, choose whatever you want. And it was like a bottle of tequila for like $550 or something. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like, what? He was just trying to like flex and be like, oh, hey, this is the table that we got, whatever. So we just go, we're dancing, we're having a good time, like on our own. We come back and then finally we're like, me and my boyfriend are like, okay, like we're gonna go. Thanks so much for like inviting us, whatever. And as he comes up, he's like, oh yeah, welcome to my world, to me. And is being like, look at all I can do for you, like whatever, whatever. Disgusting. And I'm just like, this is disgusting. Like you think I think highly of you because you can throw your money in the trash can by buying a bottle of tequila and be behind this velvet rope that makes you feel superior to people. That's not even fucking fun. It was just insane. And then after that, my boyfriend was like, this guy is literally crazy. Double spawn.
Yeah. And he was wearing a sunglass.
Oh, and he was wearing sunglasses inside, which we always like just die laughing because we're like, why do you think you're so
stupid? I guess then we can go into self-image. Because of his superiority complex, he has this extreme need to keep the self-image for like superficial reasons, obviously. So he needs to look like he is cool, calm, collected. He's knowledgeable. He's the one that's controlling the group. He's told me in the past to not speak until I'm spoken to.
Mm. That's insane. I'm like, do you just want a little puppet girl? Like, I don't understand.
And he compared me to this girl that doesn't speak a lot. And he goes, oh, why don't you be like this, blah, blah, blah. She only speaks when she's spoken to, so why don't you do that? Literally explosion. So the whole story is that we were cuddling at night, and I was kind of overthinking some of these social interactions we had that night because we did have a party. And I was like, I talked to this one guy, and I think he thought I was weird. What did you think? He was like, don't ever mention this man's name. Just speak when you're spoken to and you'll be fine. And then he got extremely mad.
He was also very hypersensitive about this one specific man in his friend group because he was superior to him extremely. And I think he felt kind of threatened by that, even though they were like friends.
He got extremely mad at me. And then I went to sleep crying. So that was a great time.
So I want to go back to his high standards of self-image for himself. That also extended to you. So your behavior, you should talk about like the behavior expectations of the restaurant and like your appearance and stuff.
The second or third time I went on a date with him, I said, fuck you, haha, like something like that. Mm-hmm. I cussed and he said, don't ever say fuck you to me. That's extremely disrespectful. You know my 3 values: respect, loyalty, and peace. And I have to be able to recite that and really understand each value. Saying fuck you as a joke is not respectful or loyal. That shocked me.
Because he reprimanded you.
He reprimands me.
And one thing about Mao, she hates being reprimanded.
I hate it. I hate it. And I'm getting fired up. And I just remembered another story where I lost my phone. And sometimes I lose my phone because at that point, like my phone wasn't that important because he would always take it. One time, my guy and this other girl, we were all cycling. I had to give my phone to the girl. She left without giving me my phone back. And then I said, oh, I lost my phone. He got so angry. He's like, you make me look bad all the time, like all the time. And now we have to go back to that girl and ask for your phone back. It's just like so embarrassing. Why do you always have, like, why do I always have to take care of you?
Literally what? Like, I don't even understand.
I don't get it.
Like how it,
like, I don't get it. It's incredible.
He just infuriates me so severely.
It's incredible, dude.
And okay, so also restaurant-wise, on your guys' first date, he was saying how he was like testing you.
Yeah, he was vetting me, and he was like, I was getting interviewed and seeing if I was like the right girl, and he was trying to vet me if I was in for the money.
Yeah.
Because all of the other girls are in for the money.
Also, he doesn't even have fucking money. Like he's a little twerp boy.
Yeah, I'll just fucking suck you dry. for the money. The last bits are blow-ups. I just want to say he had a pew-pew in his bedside table, and he took it out. Not on me. Not on me. When my friend was in danger, one of my friends, he wanted to go rescue her, which was very sweet, but he took a pew-pew with him to rescue her, and she was literally just like lost around our neighborhood, which is super safe in the marina. So I don't know, that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Just the fact that he has any type of weapon with having such a hot head and like anger management issues is just unpredictable. Like you never know what could happen, and like thank God nothing ever did happen, but you never know. Tell him about these chicken wings. If he could have an explosion about these chicken wings.
He loved chicken wings. Every single night, dozens of chicken wings. On DoorDash, one night he orders his usual batch of frickin' chicken wings. It takes forever for them to bring it up. I think the order got messed up. He yells a slur about these DoorDash delivery person, and then because they got it wrong, he threw the chicken wings across his white couch. Some of the sauce got splattered, and he like literally started crying that
Sauce
it
got on his
destroyed
couch.
Yeah, his couch.
And Mao, when Mao was telling me this story, she was like, the sauce splattered all over the couch and on my forehead, and I literally was just like,
I literally went, and I literally said, hey, it got on me too. And then he didn't care. So I just grabbed my phone and tried to leave. And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. He was like mad at me for like a little bit before I tried to leave. And then he started apologizing and stuff. It was really scary because he slammed that shit like onto the wall.
yeah.
It was very scary. I feel like this story is just like really bad.
That's like the most insane.
And then the contradictions, which tops it off with a cherry. He talks about poor people behavior, like I said, but he only tips bartenders 77 cents. And then he lets his friends cheat.
Like they'll be fully in a relationship and then like bring another girl over to a party or something. And he won't say anything about it, won't call them out about it, won't tell the girlfriend about it. Yet, if Mao even does anything as look in the eyes.
Look,
not even
wandering
talk.
eyes,
Not
remember?
even talk. Not even talk.
Eyes down, chin down.
Literally.
Literally looking like this. At the gym, like this. Walking around like this. He looks at me to see if I'm looking around.
And if Mal looks at a guy, reprimanded. So it's just crazy because I feel like that's only like scratching the surface of the insanity. At least you got some cute stuff out of it.
I still wear my stuff. Not because he got it for me, obviously. He's fucking out of the picture now, but I worked for that.
You did.
You know, like
You put in the emotional damage. It's just crazy that was kind of like your first quote unquote relationship, and just the fact that all of this crazy stuff happened. I'm like, well, you really got zooted into, you need to know your values, you need to create your boundaries, you need to not be able to be manipulated, and money is really not all that.
You are not rich if you have to work still.
Yeah.
Like truly rich, that's like generational wealth. He acted like he had all that. He did not. He was still a normal human being. Like all of us. So glad that my friends kept telling me that this is crazy, because in the moment I was like, oh, but he knows what he's doing. He's saying sorry.
It's just so hard because I feel like what took you so long to break it off, beyond it being somewhat scary to break it off with him, was that you were a nice person. It's not like you were in this and like using him the whole time. Like obviously you cared for him and thought he had some good qualities, which I'm sure he's a human. Yeah. We can recognize that. Just the fact that his manipulation, I can't even believe that this was even as long as it was.
And the breakup was really scary. I practiced and how like I would frame it, how I would say it. What if this happens? What if that happens? Who am I gonna call?
I think you're just so empathetic. You also felt bad. And I'm like, girl, you really feel bad for this man's? We say this like, oh, haha, I was using him for the money. But I don't think that's true. I don't think you ever genuinely were. He just was giving. And so I think that's why you were kind of stalling it out, because he like kept giving. You never asked for any of it. Never asked for any of it.
Never.
So I think that's a good thing, where you were in the situation with money. It's not like you were asking him to do any of it.
Whenever he apologized, he would be like, go on my phone and get whatever you want. Why is always recompensation like money?
Maybe it's trauma from his upbringing.
So he was probably a very traumatized individual, and he was in a organization that probably circulates trauma too, that I don't really want to mention which one he was in, but prior experiences really made him what he is now.
Thanks for sharing those. I mean, those are the top signs of someone being a narcissist. I'm sure
Yes.
there's other things, but these are just a few examples.
And they always come back. They always try to come back. He knew our code to the building and he came in and left a letter. Yeah, look out for those signs. Get out as quick as possible before you get way too intertwined that you're
Yeah.
unable to get out.
I think there's a reason why you went through
Yeah.
that. And I think you learned so much from it.
Yes.
But I truly would not wish that upon anyone.
Draw your boundaries, ladies.
Well, that's it for today. That's all for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Damn, I got fired up.